amazing.
Be a nice sauce.
Good evening, everyone. Officially call this meeting to order for the record dated Thursday, April 18th, 6:30 PM. Let's continue with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Seated. If you do the roll call for me, please.
Garrett Hancock.
Yes.
Jason Gray.
Here.
Grant Allen. Phyllis Davis. Sanders. Sally Knuckles.
Here.
Kevin Hall.
Here.
Mayor Martin.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Let the record show it, that we have a quorum. First item of agenda is, for me to thank you as board members, for being a part of this, that we're working on and the guidance that we, are trying to guide the town. Tonight, the first thing I need to do is we've got 4 members that have been reappointed or placed back on the
Elected.
board. Is that right?
Elected.
They won the election.
They all started, you won the election. Congratulations, for your willingness to fill the chair. What I need is I need to see if there is an agreement between you, or if I'm gonna pull straws or put numbers in a hat. But there's been a lot of confusion over the years as people come and go about the terms of office. I need 2 seats to run 2 years. I need 2 seats to run 4 years. Do you guys have a preference? Or do you want me to get numbers in my baseball cap and I'll have you pull it out?
I'll volunteer for the 2.
Okay, so Kevin's on for 2.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay, over here, you
fine
guys
with me
in for
either.
4?
I'm good for 4.
Okay, grab me a piece of paper, write, we'll put Kevin down for 2. I'll need numbers of another 2, I need 3 numbers, 2, 4, and 4. And I'll have you guys select out of a hat. What do you think? Good enough?
Yep.
So we're just doing 2 2s and 2 4s. Selecting
No,
or no?
he's gonna be a 2. So
Okay.
I just need 1, 2, and 2 4s in my hat. Is that a way to pick members?
So who's gonna get? And then the next person will be, that you appoint, will be a 2-year term for the full term. Because they won't be replacing anybody, they will be their own 2-year term appointment.
Who wants the first draw?
Ladies first.
Huh?
Ladies first.
Sounds like you really have like,
3 pieces of pink paper. You go ahead and tell what the time clock it is. They're a 4-year?
4.
They're 4-year. And then this next one, now, let me be very clear. Just because the 2-year is up, doesn't mean I want you to rerun, because I need you for longer and have to carry out.
That makes me 2.
So what now?
These are 4,
2.
and Jason's on for 2. We'll go from there. At this point, we need to swear in the new board members by oath of office again. You 2 have already been through it, but now that you're sitting in the new seat because of being elected, you'll need to do that as well. I think we'll have all 3 of you stand, all 4 of you stand at the same time, if you don't mind. You can just stay right there where you're at.
You'll raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
You solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Colorado and the Code of Ordinances of the town of Duck Creek, and will faithfully perform the duties of the office of trustee
Do my duty.
upon which I'm about to enter. You are now sworn in.
And then there'll be one for them to sign, right?
I have one.
Okay, good.
So if you'll sign that and get it back to me, I'd appreciate it.
Congratulations. Thank you for your willingness to serve.
Phyllis over here is going to be leaving, after What did we decide, 16 years? Is that right? Ryan, did you go back and check for me?
Yes, I think it was,
I
9
think
years.
it's been 13, but it was the year Corey Banks got married.
So there, I think you came and then you left and then, but the last time was a 9-year stretch on this last one.
So how long has she been with us?
9
You-
years.
You came about the same time I had her decided I needed to try.
Yeah, it's been longer than 9.
Take a picture over here behind me. I'm gonna have, come here, let's everybody stand up between the flags and have a picture as you're defining. What do you think?
That'd be good.
Would it be good? Okay. Come on up, guys. But 16 years is a lot. Isn't that what you determined? I asked that question, sir.
Would you say?
At least 14, yeah. I'm gonna ring that.
I think it's been, I was thinking it was closer to 16.
Cheers.
Smile. Okay, one out of
Thank
you.
And with that, we have a box here that should be on the wall.
Makes me sad.
Appreciation.
And the flowers are beautiful. Thank you.
And we have cake. Would anybody like cake? Ice cream cake.
We'll have some ice cream.
It's an ice cream cake.
Well, that's fine. I like
If
it.
it's ice cream cake, you might wanna have it now rather than later.
You got the
Candy,
freezer,
Steve?
don't you?
No,
Mine.
I just pulled it out.
Is that
It's there?
okay?
It's only been out for 10 minutes. It's still frozen. Promise.
Okay.
Want to wait a little bit then?
Yeah, let's wait.
Okay.
Okay, did you guys have any questions on the consent agenda? In the board packet, approval of the regular meeting minutes. Did you see any changes or amendments we need to make to those? I'll start with that.
Approve the consent agenda with the regular minute meetings for March 21st, the expense vouchers of April 18th, and the parking recs expenditures.
I'll second that.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, okay, the consent agenda has been passed. I will make this comment, so there's no surprises. We had a opportunity to build a storage shed, if you guys didn't know that. You'll see a storage shed up at the parks. Cortez, I think it was a softball league, but they did call and ask, and Christie called and asked me, but we need to move our equipment out of the school property. It was a short term. We need to get our stuff out of the school property and get it on our own. They're making some changes, of course. So I told them to put a bid in, and I gave them limits of what they can spend. And we've got what is it, a 12 by 14?
Yes. Mhm.
It's a 12 by 14 wood shed. We paid $1,200 for it. And they went and borrowed my equipment and went down and got it and brought it up, and now we have a shed. So when you see that shed up there, you'll know it's not a $4,000 or $5,000 price. There's limits on what we were willing.
Ted, are they gonna make it more feng shui, or is it just gonna be out there like this?
That's a question I can present to Christie and David. I didn't even look at the location.
It looks terrible.
Well,
I see it.
I haven't seen
It's, there's the old one, and it's right in front of the,
Well, I'll have
Looks like-
them look at that.
we can't get started like, never mind, but yes. It's off.
It's on skids, so it moves easy.
It's off.
Sure we
It's-
can function.
Drive up there, you guys, and do something.
Now, you know, Phyllis, your term is up, right?
I ain't supposed to be running my mouth anymore, am I?
Is that what you're supposed to do? Run
Run
your
Not
mouth?
run my mouth anymore?
You don't have to vote, you don't have
I can say whatever I want,
Yeah,
yeah.
so you're a concerned
See,
citizen.
the attorney even says I can. Maybe even by the red, I don't know, the red, anyway, you guys go look, go look.
Oh, Reagan has his
Have
hand
you
raised.
seen it yet? Oh,
Dagan's got his hand raised. Yeah, you'll have to keep reminding me since I don't.
well, he probably thinks,
Dagan, what do you got, sir?
Phyllis, I just want to thank you. I don't know what I'm going to do without you, without keeping me in line.
Yeah, thanks, Phyllis.
Uh,
Christy's here too.
But anyway, no, we put that shed over there. I think a better fit for that, especially if it's going to house the gymnastic mats and all that equipment, would be closer over there to the north door. But as we look to the future and hopefully get some work going on in there, I just didn't want to place it there right now. It's going to need some leveling work. We got to do some drainage work before we can even think about doing some new cement. But yeah, it's going to be there for a minute.
That's okay. It just blocks my view for the people that are using the county dumpsters. Or the town
Yeah.
dumpsters.
Well, hey, we got cameras up there now to cover.
Okay, all right, then I don't need to be the dumpster police. Okay.
Well, I
Okay,
take
thank you, guys.
over.
I want to move on now and turn the floor over to new business and presentations. I need to talk about the pavilions at Weber Park. You'll see in your packet there, you'll see an estimate. Candy Hudgens' name is on it. I'll turn the floor over to Candy for a minute here and have her explain a little bit if you don't mind.
Thank you so much for letting me come and speak for our story. And I especially want to thank Christy Chad for the many meetings that she's ended up having with us, and she has a lot of time invested in this too. In 2021, we partnered with the town and we worked with Christy, and we were able through grants and money that we earned to redo the indoor bathrooms at Weber Park. And I'm sure you've all seen them.
Yes.
And they're beautiful. And the ones that you did at the football park are really nice too. And I do want to thank this board for making improvements. You inherited an old building, you know, that hasn't been taken care of. And y'all have really made an effort and interest in making improvements. And I want to tell you that I really do, I personally appreciate that. In 2022, our sorority, y'all had the new rope challenge, you know, the new playground equipment. And that cost was $68,720. Our sorority donated $7,250 of that money for that. In 2023, we paid Kyle Carhart $1,600 for the 2 benches, and I know they're going to soon be here. And anyway, our vision for Weber Park has always been, from the beginning to finish Weber Park, you know, the children's park. And I was just here, I just want to clarify what your vision is. In 2024, and you'll see in front of you, that's a bid from Donald Adams, and we will get other bids, but we will request bids on a cabana with electricity. And on the bottom, on one end, you wanted it by the horseshoe pits, is that correct? That's why I'm here, so we have our sorority has a clear understanding of what your vision is, and so we know what we're doing. Is that what y'all wanted?
And you were thinking that over the horseshoe pits, you'd have a cover over it?
Well, we'll put a cabana just like the one that's
Brett, can I chime in here? Sorry.
Yeah, enlighten me a little bit here.
Yeah, so Dagan and I both have had walkthroughs up there at the park with Candy, looking at sprinkler lines and all that kind of stuff. We thought over there on the back side of the horseshoe pits, and then they could also utilize part of that smaller basketball court that is going to be right there, because our future envision of a pickleball court right there is a lot smaller, and it would kind of give them some cement under it and also some nice seating over there when people are playing horseshoes or basketball, pickleball, whatever. Right now there's nowhere to even set your bag if you came up there to play. So that was where we looking at the grounds and the water lines and all that stuff, that we decided would be the best place for the pavilion, and it is needed over there.
So,
How close is the electric?
So the electric, and I might have Dagan chime in here a little bit because he knows more than that. There's going to be a little bit of difficulty with that, just because when we put in the new sprinkler system, correct me if I'm saying it wrong, we filled up the breaker box.
Well, it was full 10 years ago, I think. I did have an electrician come out and do a walkthrough with a couple of different projects that people were curious about. I think it would be feasible, but it's going to take some some revamping of the box. The main reason is that community center runs the center. It runs, there's two 240 plugs out there by the crow's nest that it runs. And it also runs the cook shack. So it's going to take some doing, but the electrician did think it was possible to leg some of those together. So I do think it is possible.
Is there any pictures that the board could look at to get a visual of what the pavilion might look like?
It will be just like the one that you have now.
It's in the children's park.
Yes.
On the northeast corner.
Yes.
Before the horseshoe pits.
Okay.
It will be a 12 by 24, and on one side, and it will be halfway up. And we want to get tiles and put handprints of local children. Little tiles, every 5 years, little kids. And that would be on the bottom of one of them. And then we would have a glaze, that would be permanent. And then on the other side, that would be a full wall. And we want local artwork done that denotes what Dolores County is. And across the top, and this is just my thought, I would like it to say, maybe Dove Creek, a little town with a big heart. We are going to apply for a grant with Empire Electric, which is due in September. They make a decision December 31st, and then they award your money in 2025. I do not have a cost on that. That's why I'm here tonight, so that we'll know what our project is. That the electricity, the cabana is phase 1. We have several $1,000s put aside right now for that. And you're gonna ask me, well, how are you gonna earn the money? The Colorado Laureate ladies, since 2021, we've earned $19,000. We've worked estates, we've worked concessions, we've sold hundreds of cups of hot chocolate, and then we've all personally donated, and sold hamburgers and hot dogs and baked goods at the sales. And that's how we've come up with this money, is through grants. We sell pecans, we sell butter grapes. And I have to tell you, the ladies are very hardworking. We're kind of like the little engine that could. And one of the things that we've looked into was, and I meant to bring it tonight, remember all the phone books that Doug and Linda printed for years? And they gave them to you free, but we wouldn't give them to you free. And we were gonna, well, we're not, but we looked into printing it. And the last bid I got was $4 a copy. I suspect because the price increase, it's higher than that. We would offset that if we choose to do that project by selling advertising, local and in the area and that kind of thing. We also looked into a recipe book, a local recipe book, and you can make a lot of money doing that. So we do have a vision. They're very hardworking. When I'm absent from sorority, they're always so glad I am not there, because then I have an epiphany for them to do. And what questions do you have?
I have a couple, just to, maybe it helps me. Dagan, on your electric.
Yeah.
Would it help if you got Empire to donate a new service up there?
Yeah, well, it would help. The only thing I would rather not do is pay that extra service, especially for the price of electricity nowadays. But that it could be an option.
I mean, it might simplify things and digging and everything else. It's power right to the source.
They ran that service not that long ago when they did the cook shack, didn't they, Degan?
Yeah.
They
So
ran
we
with the
got that.
interface, then onto the cook shack.
Yeah, and that one is considered full also,
Oh,
but they don't pull that power all the time. So we could add on to that one a little bit if we need to, if necessary. But yeah, it would. I just don't want to be locked into that other bill, because we do have 2 existing meters up there now. But it may come down to that, Mike, or choose to drop one of the 240 services that's up in the crow's nest. That would be another alternative. But as we look to the future, and Christy's working on grants to redo that basketball court, all that lighting and everything up on top, all that has to be redone. And so, yeah, just thinking of the future, but it would be nice to have some power in it for Candy's vision.
The other question I have, and this is kind of a Christie budget question, and you, ma'am, when is the sorority gonna pay for all of this, or are you gonna look for the town to put it out for bids, and then you'll pay what you can and the town has to pay the rest? That's I'm not sure I understand. There's just some budget things that we have to look at. In other words, if you're gonna do this, you should pay the contractor direct, not give the money to the town to do it.
We have never asked the town for anything.
No, okay, cause it sounded like this was gonna be expensive and I wasn't sure. I just wanted to make sure.
But you certainly may help if you wish.
Good
I'm
idea.
yeah, I'm so glad you said that.
Guys, I'm trying to visualize. You talking about on the north side of the horseshoe pit? Where's your location?
The northeast portion of the park.
The northeast portion of the park, right? And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
right where that
So
basketball.
right in front of north of the horseshoe pits.
It's Irene and what?
Okay,
Yeah.
so we would have a pavilion on the south and one on the north. I know when they do that horseshoe tournament, they got all the tent of
Yeah,
the
all those little
canopies and all
canvas
that stuff, and it gets real hot over there in July. But, and then if the vision is to put a pavilion up on the north end, Christie, are you thinking where's the pickleball court gonna be?
So their pavilion would be on that end of that what is now that smaller basketball court, and
Right.
they could use the cement underneath it. And then with the rest of that up closer towards the fence and the basketball court, right there is where the pickleball court would be located. So this pavilion would be just behind the pickleball court on the same kind of slab of cement. It'll have to be fixed on that end for pickleball, but we thought that would be a good end and save them some cement money on that side of it too.
That would save $5,210, and that is not in that bid.
That's at the very, very bottom.
And we also, we've applied for a lot of money, and we are applying for the Empire Grant. Do any of y'all know Crystal Holland? She worked with Rob. She's a grant writer, a very good grant writer. And she is going to help our sorority. And we are a 501c. We do have a license number. And so she is going to help us. It'll have to be in phases. Phase 1 is the cabana. Phase 2 would be the electricity. Phase 3 would be the tiles, and phase 4 would be the artwork.
So something to think about for the rest of the projects Christie's got. The electric may have to be sooner if you're gonna be underneath some of that other stuff. We're close to it. There's some. I don't know where Dagan wants to run it from, but that may pose some financial problems down the road. Tearing stuff up that you put in to get the electric there.
Board? Garrett, start from your side. Any reason why we should not? Does that not do it? Is that?
No, I think
Does it meet
you
your
get a lot of
vision?
use out of it. I mean, I haven't seen both basketball courts filled up very often. The hoop on the northeast side, the furthest one to Gyrene there, it's not even regulation height. No one really plays in that set anyway. So I think it'd be great for the horseshoe tournament, for kids playing basketball in the summer months when it gets busy before.
You used to shoot a lot of hoops up there. You
Just
don't
up
do
there
that
today.
very often. Jason?
Yeah, I agree with what Garrett said.
Phyllis?
I agree with what they said.
No concerns? Sally,
No.
what do you think?
I like the idea. I'm just a little bit concerned about if you've got a lot of kids up there, are we keeping the fence?
Well, I would definitely want to keep the fence. That would be my recommendation. I want to.
Yes.
To keep
The
all
fence would still be there. This pavilion would be inside that big fencing that goes all the way around the park. We have no intention of removing
Dogs
that.
up there. It keeps the dogs in there too. Yeah. Yeah.
I heard sarcasm out of that. Is that what I heard from you?
Oh, I acted ignorant yesterday. Oh, I had a bad day. And I went up there and these people had their dogs. And I pulled in there, I said, use the string, I'm in there. She informed me they were show dogs. And they were exercising their show dogs.
And we have dog shows.
I didn't either.
Kevin?
I have no idea what it was.
I'm interested in this, and I think that if we're gonna do this and we have to put in a new electrical box, I put forward that maybe the town can pay for the electrical. box.
And,
For the new electric.
and I liked Mike's idea of maybe petitioning Empire to see what they would help us with.
And then with the consideration of whatever the budget cost is to run the electricity over the course of the year, but yes, this board is concerned about budget, and we should, as it's our fiduciary responsibility to mind the taxpayers' money. I also like the fact of having recreation for people. I think it's a good mental therapy instead of sending people to therapists to get that relaxation. But from the floor, Steve?
Yes, is this an adaptation that solar might be an option?
We got the batteries for the,
I think that could be looked at. I mean, I don't think we're at that phase. I think go ahead and do that.
those are pretty big lights. That's a lot of solar storage capacity.
But then again, if you do go solar, that needs to be looked into, because if you do get solar, you can also get a grant for that too. That might be the route you want to go.
It would offset your electric bill even if you couldn't use it for
Yeah,
the
the
lights.
state could come up with a grant on that as long as if we're looking at solar, that might even be a better first option to look into.
Maybe converting some of the lights to LED.
Yeah.
There
Things
is
like that
money
can-
out there for conservation.
Yep.
Okay, so what is the guidance from the board towards Candy and Parks and Rec? Proceed forward with costs. But as far as a green light, as far as location and the design that they're looking at, is the board okay with that? It looks like I have an agreement there.
Okay. And I do want to make a comment. The one grant that we are applying for, and I don't know if we'll get it or not, you know, it's like the Empire grant. One of the things that you have to do in that is you have to be in the Empire Electric Service area, which we are, but that's also part of our grant. So it might be that our grant would help pay for part of that.
You have any additional concerns, Christie and Dagan?
Yep, just tell them we're gonna try to focus on.
You're on.
Oh,
You're on mute.
the only thing I would like to remind everybody is we're really hopeful to maybe turn our attention this year more towards Triangle Park. We got to do something over there, and we're losing our all of those memorials that's been put in. They're about to fall over. Yeah, so that's kind of where our attention will be this year is trying to get that one a little better off.
So Dagan, since you brought that up, I did go look at the memorials. I was wondering with the expedition one, could we talk to whoever does the historical stuff for the county? I mean, there's a lot of neat little tidbit of information on that. And
Now, are you talking the existing plaques that's or the information board that's in there, Sally?
the monument that's in the park right now?
Yes. No, I would like, Brett and I had a conversation. I would like to keep what we have in there. There is some good information and some good historical facts about our little town. if you get on the right side where the sun hadn't bleached that out. But I would like to see all that stay in there. And I think, is that what?
Yeah.
Well, and revitalize it in some way so it can be shared with people.
Right, and that's why I thought if you talk to the historical director or whoever it is, they might have some ideas for grants that could help do that. And I think the VFW could be approached for the World War II monument or memorial, whatever it is.
Yes, I like all that, Sally.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
definitely on the agenda for there. You know, those covered seatings there are falling over. The retaining wall needs attention. But yes, the memorial is on my list as well, Sally.
Okay,
May I
thank you.
make a suggestion?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Xi Delta Tau, which is the other sorority, we're the old ladies. And they put in those Christmas lights every year. They built the park, you know, through the county, the Cajon Park, and then the school's equipment ended up at the fairgrounds. And that sorority accomplished all that. I really think you need to speak to them. I think they're
Who's the
not give your
chairperson?
answers. I'm not volunteering it.
Yeah, who's the chairperson of that sorority?
I have some contacts there already. I can
Okay.
follow up on that. No problem.
See if they would want to be a part of that solution. I think what
I
Candy's.
think, I don't know, I just,
While we're having pretty good conversation on that park, I have recently sent some grant funding opportunities to Christy, and I know a lot of funding's been happening through that turf replacement program. What is everybody's feelings on that? If we got rid of some turf and put some gravel, how do you all feel about that? I know we talked about this years ago because we do have to do some water service upgrades if we continue to use our city water over there. We got to come into compliance, but you know, I know we want to save the trees, but yeah, any thoughts on maybe getting rid of some of that grass and going to a dry land?
I like that idea.
I'm good with it because we don't have the secondary water there. It's,
And maybe sidewalks where people can walk, because, you know, you can walk in gravel. You know,
Yeah.
have sidewalks, stamp sidewalks or something pretty.
It sounds like they like that zero landscape idea. I like grass that the children can walk around with
Well, I'm
barefoot,
a
that they can
grass
keep
walker.
their shoes on. So if you've got people coming through town and want to stop, they have their shoes on, but I'm around too many grandkids right now. And I can't keep shoes on for nothing. But, anyway, Steve?
Yeah, I just let you know, the county put out a notice, I believe today, that we're accepting applications for water. So that process is in effect now.
Anyway, you might proceed with some ideas there, Christie, and go ahead and present it to the board, and maybe some drawings on a piece of paper, but or some ideas. But it sounds like there's a consensus with the board to go ahead and move towards a more zero landscape type of park on that memorial. But then as soon as you do that, you're gonna have to figure out how to kill all the weeds that's gonna come up through there. But anyway,
He's back here, Lorraine.
we'll do some thinking.
If you guys want to set up something with the VFW, let me know. We can get that scheduled.
Did you catch that, Christie and Dagan?
I did. Thank you, Jason.
Okay.
Not a problem.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Candy, for coming and visiting with the board. We appreciate your time and your efforts and all that you do for Weber Park U and the sorority.
and we have asked for other bids. We hadn't worked on it or anything till we clarified with y'all the size of
Okay.
everything, so go for
Okay, thank you.
it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll turn the floor over to 4B on your agenda. And we need to listen to the ambulance district. I see Damon has arrived. I will turn the floor over to him status update donation request. If you would, Damon. Thank you again, Candy.
Did you guys get the letter?
Yes.
Print some off just in case. Okay. So as you guys know, we're the ambulance district. I'm Damian, I started in October, took over as chief of EMS. Kind of took over something that was falling apart. Financially, we're not doing too hot. To the point where probably at the end of this year, we might have to consider closing our doors. It's more of it would probably go back to a volunteer service, which based off of recent attempts isn't going to be much of a service at all. So part of what we're asking for is just a donation. I'll leave it up to you guys what you think. Financially, to keep running like we are, we're looking at probably anywhere from 30,000 to get us through this year to maybe more, so that we can try to get on the ballot to be a health services district. By getting on the ballot to be a health services district, we can then ask for a sales tax. We are working on implementing more programs to fall within the health services district. We're currently in the process of getting care certified, which is Colorado Assistance Referral and Education Services. The goal of that program is to try to limit readmissions in the hospital. In addition to that, we're looking at interfacility transports, which part of our problem is staffing, just not having enough staffing, not enough people wanting to come out here and work for the amount we pay. The other problem is taking one of the two ambulances that we have and sending them typically 350 miles away on a transport for behavioral health, typically is what it comes down to. But they are kind of a way for us to bring in some finances, so it's something that we're trying. Another thing that we're trying is we're looking at doing some wildland stuff, getting our crew certified, because there's also bringing a lot of money. But then it goes back to we just don't have the staffing. And our number one concern is making sure that we're staffed here 24/7 for the people that pay for us. When we ran the numbers for last year, of the 256 calls we ran, 49% were in city limits. This year, we're already at 65% in city limits. And we've only ran 86 calls now. Yeah, on top of that, we're also running out of some aged equipment. Our newest ambulance is a 2017. Now that we've got it fixed up, it runs great. Before, or the other truck is a 2000 Ford 350. It's old enough that we're like having problems finding parts for it to keep it on the road. So
How many ambulances do you have in total?
two.
And then how many jobs are at stake here?
Right now we have, so I'm the only full-time person, and then there's 18 or 19 PRN employees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of which live in the town of Elk Creek. Most of the employees come from Cortez, Southwest area, and come up here to work to get some extra cash. But it's nice because wealth of knowledge and experience from down there to come up here and help the crews out. So, and we're working on trying to be more community involved I know it's been a problem.
Can I ask you a couple of questions? 'Cause I'm the attorney and I'll maybe give some advice here. Where does your money to operate come from? Where's your income come from?
Yeah, I'd say a majority of it comes from the mill levy. I think we have 2.25 mills. This year that comes out to $230,000 ish.
Okay,
Our second source of income is from grants. Unfortunately, most of the grants we apply for are match-based grants. Though we don't have any this year yet, we have some scheduled for next year, one will be 103,000 for employees, 2 advanced providers, part of me, and part of our financials person.
did your mill levy go down because of the state's, you wondered we're cutting property taxes?
I thought it was gonna go down more than it did, because of Proposition HH. Last year, we were at 188, so it kind of went up a little, but I projected to keep going back down.
Are you gonna get any infill from the state, I guess is where I was good with that? Because they have promised money to,
We're getting backfill for it.
yeah, backfill.
It's $6,000.
Okay,
Or 7,000.
so you're rocking on about 250,000 a year total income?
Yeah, yeah, after like donations and, I'd say maybe a little more. We're probably about 270 because we also make money off of billing. The way we do billing is we have a company, we're actually transitioning companies to one that'll work with us a little better. We finish our reports, they review it, they bill it to the insurance, and then we leave it at that. We don't chase after the bills, specifically for the reason of the people here pay for the service. With this new billing company, we're hoping to figure out if we can maybe go after collections on certain people and not the ones that pay for the service. But it's not very.
So you do bill Medicaid and Medicare
Yes.
and private insurance?
Yes.
Okay.
With Medicare, so on a BLS transport from here, you're looking at probably a $1,500 bill. Doesn't matter what they do in the back of the truck, that's just how a BLS falls in. It's about a $1,500 bill. Medicare usually typically only pays about 80% of that. So we bite the bullet on 20%, maybe make the 80%, not always. So,
And are you also, Demi, having trouble with Medicare, Medicaid? If they don't feel like it was an emergency call, they don't pay.
yeah, so that's
They're
the
kind
other
of,
thing
that's
is,
kind of like
when
starting.
we- right, when we get called, our providers have to very strongly and very wordily explain how this person going to the hospital was an emergency and we needed an ambulance to do so. Whether that's
Use the right jargon.
right, and, if we don't use it, it gets denied and we don't get to try again. Medicare doesn't give you a second chance, so.
Are all of your transports to Cortez, or do you do Monticello as well?
I would say probably 2/3 of ours go to Monticello and the other third goes to Cortez.
Is there an issue going into the state lines with insurance?
Not, yeah, not from here. If we were to pick up there and come back, then it gets a little gray.
When you took over in October, I've heard nothing but good things as far as your leadership in that role. So I thank you for stepping into that position because it's not an easy position, and I know there's been budgetary concerns, and I know Phyllis has been sitting on that board for many years as well, and you're probably still on that board. But I do believe from a board member that's important we have an ambulance to support our people in the community in an aging population. And then we have such, we've complained about the Dove Creek ambulance and the response time, but what would it be without, if we have to wait for Cortez ambulance or a Dove Creek ambulance to respond. And I'm checking with them, they're tracking that response time, they've improved on the response time. But,
It couldn't be any better, our response time now.
it is really come up.
The only thing that can make it better is if we could figure out how to put a house inside that building.
Or the helicopter, yeah, there's response times there.
But I like the 24-hour coverage that you put in there. I like your direction as far as getting some EMTs so we can actually supply some of the care that we need for those people during transport. I know that's been a problem that you've been facing as well, that you're not able to do things and then your patients say, well, why not? It's sitting right there on your truck, but you can't do it. The concerns I have for the board is not, the problem I have is the budget. Their request is coming at a time where our budget is set. I don't know when, but it's gonna be difficult to pull 30,000 out of a budget right now. We've already got it set, and we've got our numbers in place, and we're running deficit still in the water and the sewer, but budgets in the enterprise funds. But I would like you to take it under consideration, and maybe we can meet separately in a workshop and go over it. It sounds like we've got a little bit of time to get it figured out what we want to do and how we can help. Maybe come up with some ideas, but I don't think their budget's gonna get any better. And I don't know if they're gonna have any success in a sales tax. If you're gonna try to put that on the November ballot.
Yeah, and the problem with it is it's gonna be probably up to 4 questions on the ballot. It's already full of questions. Because we'd have to ask to switch from an ambulance district to a health services district. We would have to ask to keep the mill levy that we have. We would have to ask to implement the sales tax, and then there was another portion.
And there's a problem or a question that needs to be looked at. I don't know that you can stand under tabling $30,000 donation. There's, in other words, if they show income and the donations drive them up above the certain percentage, the Tabor limit each year, then they've got to refund money to the taxpayers because they've collected more than what Tabor allows you to grow each year. So there's some issues there. So if you want to give them the full 30,000 somehow, I'm gonna have to structure it some sort of way so it looks like you're buying something. Rather than you're making a donation. And if, you know, that's the problem for them. If they get $50,000 worth of donation, 75,000, that starts to affect their income increase of only 250,000, a little more, a little less. And so we don't want to make it worse for them, but at the same time, we can figure out a way to make it happen if that's where you want to go. But it's not just writing them a check. We're going to have to come up with something that we're paying for, more or less, even if it's something that they're already giving, just to make it fly, make it work better legally. If that makes sense.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that you're battling is, and that we're battling as a board is, as you understand, expense structure, billing for the services rendered and then getting acceptance from your people to pay that bill. But we have taken a lot of things for granted in our little town for many years. And that gravy train is gonna have to go away because we're gonna have to try. I really enjoy having an EMT. When I've got a life-threatening thing from an aging individual, I like that EMT able to do his job without fear. And so we will take that under advisement, and then we'll get some more thoughts. I'll let you guys.
And we're
think
even
about
so lucky, we don't, I mean, like Damien said, we've got paramedics that are coming. How many paramedics come out?
Right now, there's 2.5 of us.
Yeah, and that's something our district hasn't had.
We have 2.5 paramedics. One's kind of got some family things going on, so he's not able to show up as much. We have 2 intermediates, which are just under paramedic level. I have 3 advanced EMTs, And then, by the end of the summer, I'm hoping that all the drivers are EMT certified, so.
Might be a way to do collections. We use it, you certify your fees to the treasurer and collecting the property taxes. It doesn't cost you about 10%. And they put it on the person's tax bill if they own real estate, and it's working really well for us with past due water bills. Sometimes you get a thought, give me a call, and I can explain it to you. I'd be willing, unless the board's got a problem, I'd be willing to help them with that collection process. Because if you're leaving money on the table, if you're leaving 20% of that money on the table, that's a huge amount of money.
Yeah, I think what we billed last year was 120,000. What we actually pocketed was 40,000.
Why don't you call me and we can talk about this, okay? I'll donate some time to help you with it, okay?
Perfect.
I'm serious, if you need help doing that as much as you do.
The good news is we're switching that billing company. First off, they're charging us 5.5% less than the first one. Second off, their goal is to get us to above 75% collection. Knowing that if we're not making money, they're not making money. So hopefully that'll help us out too.
Well, appreciate your time. I'm glad you came and expressed to the board your concerns and what you're looking ahead at.
Yeah, and given the semi adversarial confrontational theater I work in, you guys don't have a problem if I help them try and do some collections?
No.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you guys.
Keep up the good work. I'm glad you're in that position. Okay, we're moving on to the special events for the fire department. And you've got some updates?
Their packet was turned into me today and it was not complete. So if we could move it to the May 7th workshop and turn that one into a meeting to approve the,
Would like to continue that item to whatever meeting.
May 7th.
We will, I need a motion for that. Just move it to the next meeting later.
You bet.
Okay, court resolution remote access. I assume that's you, Bruce?
Yes, sir. What, the esteemed state legislature, I call it court TV, but all the courts in the state are supposed to broadcast the proceedings to the world. And then at the same time, the Supreme Court, issued directives, they call them the Chief Justice directives. One of them sort of followed that, and then they had, and I say sort of because it was implementing in their rules the legislation. But the Supreme Court went one step further and talked about they wanted remote access for people so they wouldn't have to show up in court. That one does not apply to the town of Dove Creek, so we don't have to do it, okay? We don't have to let people appear remotely online or whatever, because it doesn't apply to us. So we're a municipal court. The other thing is, and that's why if you read the resolution I'm crying for, on behalf of the town, all the money you need to spend everywhere else, there's an exemption that if you can't afford this, then you don't have to do it. It's not just setting up for like a Zoom meeting in here. You have to have a record. You have to keep it for 3 years. You have to have microphones that turn on and off. You have to have cameras that work. And it's in speaking with Jason just off the cuff, it's a 15 to 20 grand exercise. What I am hoping staff and I can do is figure out what the requirements are and then use it to make a better recording system for meetings and the court with the same equipment. So we wouldn't have to duplicate. The other thing is, and I think this is expensive, if I remember correctly, a WebEx license versus a Zoom license. And WebEx is the gold standard for courts. For some reason, it works better than Zoom. For example, when I was on the Zoom meeting, this side of the room I couldn't hear. You guys were wah, 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 wah. And over here I could hear people words. And WebEx is supposed to take care of that. Also, it would help if you each had an individual microphone. And so there's recording systems that need, and this is expensive. So that's what I'm doing by this resolution, is just putting everybody on notice. We can't afford this. We're not gonna do it. We'll look at it in the future. Most of our tickets are traffic tickets. The other ones would be code enforcement. Those people live in town, most of them, so they can be here. The traffic tickets, hey, I'm sorry, for 80 bucks, I've got to spend or have the town spend several hundred WebEx, all this stuff, operating it, maintenance. I can't even begin to think what we do if it fails during the court hearing. Do we have to have some IT guy sitting over here in the corner or on call? So, I mean, these are things we can't really afford and have in a meaningful way. So that's the purpose of the resolution, is to avoid until we get in a better place.
Board?
I agree.
I do too, 100%.
Yep.
They agreed to break the law when they drove through town at 60 miles an hour. And come to court.
And it provides Lorraine and Elizabeth and I with some very entertaining phone calls from people who live on the ocean and don't want to come back to the.
We'll just pay the
And the
bill.
one story in his son, the Marine, and blah, blah, blah.
Well, we took care of that guy.
Yeah, but he was full of it too, because he called us.
Well, he paid his, but his son was gonna go work on explosives.
Yeah.
And so I cut him a deal, but the dad, no. But no, that's what, so we're asking you to approve that resolution. So if it comes up, I have board approval that we ain't spending the money because we don't have it to spend. And we'll look at it again. I think the last paragraph says if we need to.
I move that we pass the court resolution to put off the electronic devices until future.
It'd be one for you to set up the resolution and bring it to the board for approval.
We have it, right?
You already have it?
Mhm.
Okay.
You have it.
So I second that.
Motion on the floor, seconds in place. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries. Thank you, Mike.
Well, thank you guys.
I'll get that.
Make the
signed.
judge feel better, because he kind of likes electronic. I'm a dinosaur.
Me too.
Okay, resolution is signed. You know, Damon, I hate to see a truck run into one of our elderly people pulling out in front of the post office. To not have an ambulance be able to respond in a timely fashion, and that's concern. That's a problem for me. But, we can't have that ambulance district fail. I think it was a year ago. I was talking to the board that they need to get that figured out and get that big grant was on the board at that point. But it's important we have that district.
That's why I think we need the time to figure out a way to do it. It doesn't make it worse for them instead of, so they can keep running. That's.
Okay, old business, town cleanup, two of them are scheduled May 18th and July 13th. Dagan, are you still with me?
Yes.
Dagan, I have a concern I want you to think about the cleanup, days.
Okay.
Right now, we're working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're off Friday. We have a crew that comes in on Saturday, including board members. We do our thing. We start about, I don't know, we show about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and it seems like by 2:30, our dumpsters are full. We go ahead and, of course, we're there until the dumpsters are full.
And we're glad.
And what?
We're glad they're full.
Oh, yeah, and we're glad they're full at 2:30. And we're gonna get, I understand we're gonna go with 3 dumpsters this year, is that correct?
Yes.
Tell them the.
Yes.
So excuse me, Waste Management donated $6,000 of in-kind dumpsters.
Really?
Wow.
So we had
that
our
happens.
dumpsters paid for both events this year, completely free. We have $6,000 in the line item for that.
That's fantastic.
Yes, it is.
But that, here's my question, Dagan, and it's on a, and now I'm going to a personal note, which may be a conflict. We're concerning the limbs, everybody's cutting limbs left and right. To get all those limbs up there between 8 and 2 o'clock, think about whether we want to try to give it an extra day or two, maybe during the week, that while the guys are around, that, you know, they could take extra limbs up, so it's not a full day of unloading limbs. I don't know, think about if there's even a way to do it. If not, that's fine. We'll make it work, but as people start pruning, I can see limbs stacking up all over the place already, including on my personal property. I've got them sitting everywhere, but.
Is the burner back to working?
Yeah, in fact, you burned one session, did you not, Dagan? It's not, I don't see.
Yeah, we're, you know, Brett, that's something we can definitely think about and see how we could alter that to make it work, because we have cleaned up, the last year pile and we're ready for more. So, yeah, let me see if we can come up with a solution to that. I know in the previous years, and most of the time I do it for, you know, churches or you know, people like that they can schedule and come a little early. But yeah, if you're thinking there's going to be an above normal group of people that'll have limbs, yeah, let's see what we can do.
Okay, and then what about our appliances and things? What are we doing there?
So we're gonna, it's business as usual. There's nothing changing as far as what we're taking and what we don't. So yeah, we just got extra dumpsters. So I think with that extra dumpster, you know, I enjoy those record-breaking Saturdays where we're out of there by 10:30, but I do realize that not everybody got a chance to take the advantage of the program. So I think this third dumpster's got to help to lead us there more in the afternoon. You know, and if the day keeps going and the limbs keep coming in, I don't care if I stay later taking them in. Brett, I don't have to be out there at a certain time. So, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That's coming up. But I'm glad that they, we're gonna donate that. That's quite a bit of savings.
Yeah.
Okay.
All town employees there on that.
It's
How
what,
many of them ever show up?
Town employees or town board members?
Yeah, Boardman.
yeah, board members are always welcome, and there's at least 2 or 3
But
board.
one year, I mean, you were there was only that one. Dagan was, something happened. Remember Dagan?
Like a water leak? or
Son,
something?
there was me and you, and it was the kid.
Ah.
There was me.
But we usually have 3,
Garrett worked his butt off.
Wyman and Dylan and
There's just the one
Chris
kid who
are usually there on Saturday.
something happened, and there was me, Garrett, and that kid. I can't remember.
Put them in
But
the dumpster and they run.
probably
back
4
and
years ago,
Squash it in.
the first year you were on it.
Have it above the edge. So we usually have 3 staff members and we pay them to come in on a Saturday to help us do that.
What's bad is when they bring mattresses that really feel, because you can't break them down like you can. They can run them.
So right now, yeah, we're looking at a 3-man crew. Well, maybe 3.5, because I'm going to show up. But yeah, we should have it all covered, and then we should be able to switch that for the next cleanup day. And I think that was July 13th. So yeah, we should be able to switch out and freshen up there. So yeah, we're ready. We're ready. The yard's ready. I think you guys are going to be really happy with what's taking place over there at the Public Works Department. It's really changed a lot. So we're excited.
Pardon me, Mike?
Do you only bring limbs in that fire?
You can burn certain size logs and you have to get like huge unit stuff.
So, the rule of thumb on the size of log has been 6 to 8 inches, I think, in diameter is the biggest we want to take. And most of the time, we do pretty good, with accepting everything.
Would you like some?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and have some ice cream for 10 minutes? Okay, and then you're not taking lumber with nails and that kind of stuff, is that correct?
No, I definitely want to keep a closer eye on that part of it. We got hit pretty hard last year, with a bunch of pallets and old nails, and yeah, we want to stay away from that as much as we can.
Okay.
Brett and Phyllis, I got a historical question for you, digging too, I guess. Has there ever been a cap on the amount of crap a person brings?
No, we've always talked about it, but
Okay, yeah.
Because we've
'cause,
had
we've seen
certain
like horse
families-
trailers full of crap, and then you've got a guy that shows up at 2 with a little truck bed and he can't.
certain families that don't live in town, but there's family members that live in town, you know, good and well came from out of town. That probably what you're, and they're every year, and Dagan knows who, I mean truckloads of it.
There was a house in Durango that I go by and I worked at Burke. And I couldn't believe the pile that these people had up front. This was in a nice neighborhood. It was like 2 dump truck loads of everything, just heaped in the street. So that some people eat there once a year.
That's
Take
what
the
this
garbage
is,
out.
certain ones. But you're right, then that's all filled up because they brought, and they'll even come back, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Same trailer.
Okay, let's move on to public comment. Limited to 5 minutes, but Steve, I see you're present with us. Thank you for coming. I hear you're running for commissioner again, so I'm pleased to hear that. Thank you for your service and continued service. We'll see how your campaign trail runs this year, huh? Have you got anybody running against you at this time?
Not at this time.
Okay. Would you like to approach the board with any issues at this time?
I know, I just came to see what's going on and to learn.
One of the things that's happened, Steve, is the board has given a green light for Dagan to be at those CDOT meetings. So if you could get with Dagan and don't trip over each other as we're trying to move forward with some improvements to the highway, like you and I have been talking with 1 lane, and they're wanting us to come up with some money to help them design it, I guess. Well, it's in the preliminary stages, but anyway, if you would make sure you and Dagan don't trip over each other in your comments and all that, okay?
Enjoy his participation.
Okay, and then going on to the next item, sheriff's report. Is there any questions on the sheriff's report that need addressed? I will address mine. How many, and Lorraine, how many tickets are we averaging per minute?
Lorraine's got a better idea because I'm only seeing the ones that come to court, which are, it seems to be about 16, 20, and 20, 25.
A month?
Yes,
A month?
yes, sir. But he's writing more tickets than that, was my understanding. You gotta remember, these people, because they don't have to come to court, they can mail their money in or use their credit card, and so we're doing pretty good with that.
You have it broken down on my,
And it does vary, in talking with Don, there's some months he's got crime. And he's not able to spend as much time on the highway.
The reason I'm asking that, as our people come to us as board members, what are you doing about the traffic? And they come on pretty strong. I like to be able to respond. What did we take in last year in fines? Did we take 50,000 last year in fines?
it was about that, yep, and I've got it broken down here where we're at. Does anybody want any cake? Would you like any
We've had a no prisoners attitude. I mean, if anybody asks, we're not dismissing tickets, we're not giving anything away. Like I said before, Lorraine and I've had some entertaining phone calls.
This is really nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the judge has been, the judge has dismissed a couple because of some, problems with the ticket format, and we got rid of that problem by throwing away the ticket format that was causing the problems, and we're moving on.
So it looks like 46 traffic stops in March.
That would be about right, sir, yes.
I like the board members to know that kind of stuff when you guys were approached. Not that it's a revenue producing, because that's not good for us to have a police force that is revenue producing, but I use that as a gauge as far as trying to, are we doing anything? But 46, it's like $11,346 in payments already for the end of March. That's the first quarter, multiply that times 4, so that's another $45,000. But
And
we're trying, it looks like they're trying to slow the traffic, but it's just not good enough. Yeah.
No,
Especially
I
when
came out
you
here
have-
yesterday, I got ripped 5 bad ripped phone calls.
And I think, I don't,
Cussing.
not to disrespect the two fellows that were at the last meeting, but when the one guy said that it was a very low speed over the limit, he saw people, I regularly come into town, and a couple times I've been doing 45 and got past like I was standing still. So there's a lot of 50 mile an hour and above traffic. Came out of court the other day and this one truck went by, and if he wasn't doing 60, I was standing still. I mean, it's there, and the officers are getting it. If we get Jerry Sam up here 2 days a month, he's fun to watch. He writes tickets. He'll do 15, 16 tickets in a day. I don't know how he does it, but he's good.
They need to stay
really
and
good.
sit there.
Yep.
And that's what Jerry Sam does, they won't stage, they like
Yep.
to,
Well, and I've seen them sit on the side of the road and somebody goes by, they flip their lights on as a warning, slow down, and it's like, turn around and go get them. Because we're speeding past people and get slashed, and it's just like,
Dagan, one thing that I would still be interested in, and then we can present it to the board, but I'd like to see if there's a retired police car out there that barely runs, that we could put a radar detector in there and just set it in front of our building and turn it on. And see if that doesn't help.
You don't need a police car. You just pick an
You're
unmarked
right,
car,
you're right.
park it out there, and you have a radar gun. I got you one from the city of Cortez.
You
It's
did.
somewhere in the building. They gave me one of your old ones. They loved it. Oh yeah, Green, you're gonna get it. And so.
Or why not just set it up in the office here?
we'll put it in that old green pickup and just park the pickup over there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I mean, yeah, they won't know, but, they're not supposed to be legal radar detectors, but I think everybody's got one that, and maybe it would slow people down. You gotta aim it towards the highway some ways down the road and see, but yeah, Dagan's got a radar detector.
I don't know if it works. We tried it.
It was working when I brought it up.
Uh,
We tried it.
We
out.
can test it too.
Anything on the animal control report that you're concerned about?
We haven't seen any animal control tickets, so don't know if that's good or bad.
The only animal that needs control you can't do, and that's deer.
A mess.
I met with the Division of Wildlife today about
You could ride them,
Funds.
isn't that good?
Okay,
The deer are just tame. Do everything.
We haven't had discussion.
can't have a garden. I should build it. Never mind.
That's what my nephew Quincy's got his tricked out garden, but it's built, but.
Thank you.
those houses are pretty good
Uh,
too. The hoop houses.
Oh, no.
Oh, as part of municipal court. I need to explain this. When we went up to the cash house, what happened?
Did you skip clear down to G?
Oh, is
Yeah.
that where you wanna do it? I thought when you asked me about municipal court, you wanted to do it.
Oh,
I can
okay.
wait, that's good.
Finish your cake for it, Mel.
Yes, no, it's.
Christie?
I'm sorry, I forgot.
Christie, could you, all right, do you have anything to report from the recreation, department?
You have a projection.
Not a whole lot right now, pretty short and sweet. Baseball, softball is underway. That's been taking most of my time lately. Getting schedules, uniforms, fields ready, all that good stuff. This year, Duck Creek will be hosting 5 teams. That's 3 baseball teams and 2 softball teams. We are looking to start games the week of April 29th, so pretty soon. It will be very busy up there. We typically host between 3 and 5 games every week. So those schedules and all that will be kicking off pretty soon. And we'll have our snow cone shack thing up there again. So feel free to come watch some games and eat a snow cone. Also just busy planning with summer program. That is going to kick off June 4th. We've got some good things booked this summer, so I'm excited. That'll be fun for the kids. And then the only other thing I wanted to report was the new shed, but Brett filled you in on that. So again, we've got to get a fresh coat of paint on it and fix a couple shingles, but we got a smoke and dill on it, and it's going to be very nice to have a place to house all of that equipment instead of moving it here and there. So I was very excited to get that. And that's all I have on my report. If you have any questions for me.
Any questions for Christie? Okay, thank you, Christie. Dagan, you and I have had many conversations, but was there anything you want to report to the board at this time?
You know, right now, I'm gonna let him off easy tonight, but I do want to thank Phyllis for her dedication and support of this town and what she has done in her time served. So I thank you, Phyllis. You've been a big part in all the changes that I see more than anybody. I see change. I see progress. Really gonna miss you. But
I just think
no,
about the changes we have done that I'm proud of as a board. The water dock, this building,
Done a lot.
we got the tax, you know, the sales taxes went through. I mean, things that didn't happen.
Done a lot.
Really a lot.
And your ability to describe things as what they really are is.
I didn't know. Is that so? Anyway.
Seriously, some people don't think it like that.
Sometimes I see the board members struggling conceptually, and then Phyllis goes, "My big," and you all sit there and go, "Okay."
well, Phyllis, we always get an honest vote out of you. Always. We get an honest vote. We look forward to it because you do speak your opinion and your mind and help develop a lot of policies that we try to implement today. So no, thank you. But there's some things coming down the line. I really don't want to open the can of worms on the conversation yet, but I'll know a little bit more as I got some trainings on new regulations coming down, and it's going to get interesting. It'll be fun. But no, I think over the last couple of meetings we're all caught up, so I don't have much to add there.
I would like to share with them, Dagan, that you're going to have another inspector coming in here before the next meeting. And then you can report to the board what their findings are going to be. But you just received the call a week ago or something like that?
I got a call on Tuesday that I was going to have a mandatory reservoir inspection on Friday at 9. So kind of got me off guard. They're usually supposed to give you a 30-day notice to try to get your ducks in a row, but I didn't get everything I wanted. But I'm not, just like I said, I got to give credit to the crew, because even though I had 0 time to put into this inspection, I didn't get the paperwork side of it done that he wanted, but that's okay. But as far as the reservoir, it's well kept. I'm not real nervous of anything that he's gonna find up there other than our yearly process of hand cutting willows out of the reservoir. But that should be about it. I'm not too worried, and yeah, him giving us kind of short notice, I hope he takes that into consideration. So we do have a great relationship with the damn safety engineer. I laugh every time I say it. Matt Gavin, he's been a big part in the development and design of the reservoir number 2 also. So I have, like I said, I'm not real worried about this one.
Did the board see the email that we got the approval on the waiver?
Yes.
You guys saw that? That's quite a, yeah.
Hey, Brett,
Yes.
one more thing I'd like to add, just because I never did get back with Jason and his concerns when it comes to the discussion of the road diet. I just want everybody to take into account that this is just a discussion at this point. We're just breaking the ground and sharing the information of our visions. I have nothing set in stone as far as what it's going to look like, but I think we should take our concerns and write them down. That way, when we do get to the design phase, we have a better view of what we want and overall. So don't be afraid to ask questions, but don't think I'm out there trying to just do this on my own, because yeah, I'm going to need a lot of help when it comes to that, and we're just not to that step yet.
Okay, and then Dagan, I would like to make a request of you and Paul for the next workshop meeting. I've been going over some of Sally's stuff as a trustee that I think that that new software program that the board put into place, if you could put together a demonstration for the workshop, and then you can show the board members how much progress we've made on accountability on costs and expenses and how you're tracking it. I think that would be important for Kevin and Sally to view, as well as the other board members.
I think that's a great idea. That program that we invested in with just a little bit of money, I think it's $3,500. It's gonna come in key when we get to building a budget, maintaining equipment, roads. We can actually eventually. It's gonna take a couple of years to get everything where we want it, but it'll track our pavement. Signs. This program is awesome, and Paul has put a lot of work into it, and it's really paying off. The lack of documentation that we struggled with from the past. This is definitely something I think you guys should see. Now, is Paul the only one speaking? Because he might talk all night.
Yeah. Yes, I need to watch that. I need to watch that. So if you want to be the presenter, that would be fine.
No, I would love Paul to do it. I would love for Paul to do it.
Okay, I'll put time constraints on him then.
Yeah, we'll just have to rough him up a little bit.
Okay, I would like to do that and show the board.
Thank you, Brett.
We had a meeting with, I was sitting in one of those WebEx meetings with the president of New Holland, and I couldn't hardly understand him. I got a kick. No, it was the vice president of operations. And I thought of you and that software program. They said, we're moving into a stage where it's not revolutionary, it's evolution. And I'm trying to figure out the difference between the two. And I think both of them go hand in hand, but that isn't what she was trying to tell me. But I didn't like any of her comments personally, but anyway. Anyway, I would like to show that to the board members and see the progress that we're making. And the money that we've invested as a board to get that in place so we can track expenses and hold accountability. Very necessary. It's nice when somebody comes in and they ask you a question about a permit. They can just go right to it and show them the exact permit who signed off. But anyway, if you would, that would be great. So we'll plan that for the next workshop, if you guys don't mind.
Yes.
Okay, I appreciate that. Anything else to report, Dagan? Are you good for now?
I'm good for now.
Okay, I'll turn the floor over to Lorraine.
So I've got most of the stuff in the clerk's report. Elizabeth did apply for that SIPA grant that she got. That's to bring our website up to ADA compliance. It's about $25,000.
Wait. Don't say that so fast.
Okay.
Let that mill in a little bit.
Hey,
She did what?
she applied for a grant through SIPA,
That's better.
State Internet Portal Authority. And so they are providing us with a program that turns our PDFs into ADA compliant, which we have to do by July of this year, or we could face some fines. And again, that's worth $25,000.
That's much
They're
better.
about.
It's worth a whole bunch more because there's a couple of law firms that are nationwide, going around and checking on websites to see if they're ADA compliant. And the federal government authorizes them to sue the governments who aren't ADA compliant and make you get into compliance, but then you have to pay their attorney's fees. And the attorney's fees are more than the damages if there even are any. So this is a huge thing above and beyond the 25 grand. The potential to save the town from unforeseen expenses is huge. So it's a good lick, because we've been talking about this for 2 years, and it's good. Elizabeth did a wonderful job. She explained that to me the other day, and I was like, wow.
Yep.
Good job, Liz.
Yeah.
What was I was gonna ask you, what was the savings on
Grants.
the dumpsters too?
I'm sorry, what?
What was the savings on the dumpsters?
$6,000. And they do that because it's a tax write-off for waste management to provide that. So as long as we ask, they will give it. And they asked for 6 and they gave it. So next year I might ask for 8. Yeah, we've always had 4. So I thought, well, 6 will be pushing it. I'll push them a little more next year. I met with Colorado Trust yesterday and they have some options for us to earn even more money with our funds. It's pretty much the identical account that we have with community banks. It's just with Colorado Trust, and they're at 5.43%. So at the end of the year, that's about 117,000 versus our 97,000 that we're currently on track to make right now. So I'm in negotiations with the bank, community banks. I'm pushing them to see if they can bring that up. But if they can't, I would encourage us to move to Colorado Trust. Like I said, it's nearly the same account. The money that there's no fees, no minimums. They make their money and they've already pulled it off of that 5.43. So they're probably making 7%, and then we're seeing the difference. It's available immediately through ACH or bank wires if we need to pull money out. So it'd be no different really than community banks. So what I'm saying is we would keep the 7 accounts that we have with community banks here with about 900,000 combined, and then the remainder going to Colorado Trust. But I'm hopeful that the bank will raise their rates so that we don't have to do that.
Set up with collateral because they just do that.
It's nearly the same account that we have.
But I mean, they specialize in.
Yes,
comments.
yep, so,
They're more attuned to your needs than either the commercial insurance company or.
Yep, so they have, out of the 5 governments here in Dove Creek, they have all of them except us. But he was explaining exactly what we're in right now is exactly what they would be offering, just a higher percentage. So that means the bank here is making more off of us. So I have faith that they can bring it up.
Then you're at the bank at what are you doing?
4.75. And they said, so I told Colorado Trust that yesterday and he couldn't believe that because everybody he's talked to is community banks is at 3%. So we're doing really good. And then I heard back from the backfill from the county, and it looks like after everything's said and done, the difference is about $3,000 from that SB bill that passed. 3,000 in the negative. So it's not as large as we were thinking it was going to be.
Does your mind always think that fast?
Nope, a lot faster. I'm trying to slow
Eric,
down.
can you testify to that?
Depends on the time of day and if she's had coffee.
Okay,
We were expecting about a $10,000 deficit and we're about a $3,000 deficit, so that's fantastic. I added up all the, so another thing I want to add real quick too, Paul has been looking over all the invoices with a fine tooth comb, and he's found errors every single month where some of the local businesses have been charging somebody else's bill to the town. So that adds up. And then he's also been proactive to the last coal patch that we got wasn't quite up to snuff. So he called the company and asked, are the next coal patch we get, is it gonna be this subpar stuff or are we gonna get better stuff? Long story short, we're getting about $7,000 worth of coal patch and chemicals, the chemical that they're using at your house to break down the tree roots, in kind from Paul. So I think I've added it up. We're at about $133,000 that the staff has found this year that we weren't counting on.
I have never seen staff in this town do that.
Yeah.
This is the last couple of years watching these guys go at this stuff has been phenomenal. It's part of the solution. Been fantastic watching the water bills, the sewer bills, everything. It's actually kind of fun.
And as Mike was saying too, the county treasurer is working really good. The interesting thing about it, when you get something attached to your tax bill on your property, if you have a mortgage on your house, your mortgage company will absorb that and then it goes into your escrow account. So you have to pay that more every month. So anyway, we've collected almost $5,000 of the 7,000.
At a cost of 500, which you couldn't do.
Well, no,
The
because
treasurer's
she's adding 10%.
Oh, she's adding it too.
So we have not paid her a dime.
Right, she's getting, her 500 is paid for with the tax money. We put it in the ordinance, so instead of us collecting ours and then taking it off the top includes her fee. So we're getting all of our money from this that's owed.
And if we don't get it this year, we'll get it when the tax sale comes and someone buys the property and they'll have to pay the
It's
tax.
slow, but it's almost, well, it's conceptually it's free. We're not paying any money.
And those are past due water and sewer accounts.
do you ever inform the board on one of the questions Sally would like to have is the number of delinquent accounts? You got that anywhere in the reports?
So Liz has been rocking it and she has learned how to use RVS better than anybody ever. RVS is our billing program. So she's had a lot of trainings with them and we shared this with the mayor, but something that used to take us days at the end of every month to do now takes us 5 minutes. And that's where she's found time to do the grants. And then we're also, sorry, my brain, we're looking at landscaping. We're starting that process. And again, Liz and I have been looking at parklets and streetlets. So this whole area, point in front of the town hall, if we turn this into some kind of parklet or streetlet, we might be able to apply for a grant for some landscaping.
Now, what are you calling it?
Parklet, like a mini park.
Cortez has them where they'll be like maybe the corner of the city block.
Kind of like how Monticello has those. pretty-
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Those
you
got-
can
yeah.
do something out here and give me a parking problem with the tractor trailers. Would be in there. Because there won't be any place for them to park. It's the river tooth and get rid of some asphalt. And do something like that apart.
So I don't have the delinquent accounts, but I will print that off and I'll send that out on Monday.
Something just to keep track of.
Yeah, we have it easy to grab.
You don't have to send it out right away. It's just, I had talked to Brett and I should have sent everybody, but he kind of gave us the homework for some reason. And I went ahead and sent him a list of ideas I had for reports, and especially since now we have all of our employees, or well, maybe not Dagan, but we have everyone on hourly rates. So they'll be paid overtime for any extra time. But when, as a finance director, I had structured reports where I reported to a board. Like all the complaints that came into the clinic, I didn't have to tell them, you know, details, but it was like, we had 5 complaints on providers, 6 complaints on the parking lot, just, you know, general complaints, and then employee issues, we dealt with so many. Number of accounts that we billed out, the grand total that we billed to Medicare. I mean, we broke down everything in a structured report. So they could keep the reports and go back month to month and compare and say, oh, so why aren't you, you know, what's changing? It kind of gave them ideas for trends and things to look at. And I thought that might be helpful for us to have a structured report. They'd have to decide what they want in it, and if we wanted, you know, was curious about something else, they could add it. But and sending it out a week before or something so you can read through it, have questions, because just like the traffic diet thing, when Dagan brought it up, my mind goes blank. But after I thought about it and looked around, it was like, oh, I shot him an email with I don't know how many questions. And then yours were totally different. I never even thought about, you know, the white loads and stuff. But I just thought that would help us as a board. We'd have something in print that we could study and compare month to month. I take gobs and notes, so the extra, you know, I could, with structured reports, I could add my own notes or whatever, but it was just something I thought of. It may not be a good thing, but.
You probably can't put the names of the people. And you could just say we have delinquent accounts stolen. There's
Right.
some core requests and problems.
You
And
never.
because this is a public record that anybody could come in and ask for. So we probably need to be very careful about that. And then you guys don't need to look sideways at people when you see them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that would be my recommendation, is just numbers.
but just like, and I'm not saying complaints aren't handled, but, you know, if Dagan is getting 10 or 12 complaints on, I don't know, roads, he can at least tell us, you know, I've had 10 complaints on roads that I've dealt with. Oh, well, what roads? Is it the same road? Is it different? I mean, it just gives us an idea of what the employees are also getting hit with from the public. Because I mean, I've heard you guys talk about things, and it's like, well, I don't know anything about it, and I don't know if I need to know. But I don't want anybody being surprised with something.
There might be some format.
Dagan's got his hand up.
Dagan?
Sally, just to add to that, so while we was going through this iWorks program that we were showing Brett, if we do get a complaint and it becomes something that we have to go look at, or you know, we need to go put eyes on it, we need to go talk to somebody, you'll see some of these showing up. I don't know as far as tracking them. I bet Paul could track them. But you'll see them in the next presentation of that program. So we can, because yeah, we do, if we get a complaint, we have to respond in any way. We make a work order just to document that, hey, we was here. This was the outcome. This is what happened. So if we get a call again, we can kind of relate to that. But no, we do try to do our best with the PR of the job.
And we're tracking the number, excuse me, Dagan, and we track every time that happens, a work order is made. The system will track how many times to that location and what the problem was, to see if it's an inherent problem that we as a board or as staff need to find a better solution.
Yes.
So as they do that, that's part of this expense structure that they're doing in this iWorks. Fully pictured, it's beautiful, well money spent.
It would help you also historically from watching in other places that go for grants to do this stuff. There was some talk, I think it was before you came on the board, Sally, about trying to take sections of streets in town and rebuilding them. And the really gold standard way to do those is everything that's in the ground, no matter who it owns, comes out and is replaced. And so you have a 50-year piece of road with 50-year utilities in the ground. Maybe you move them out of the middle of the street to each side, so you don't have to dig the street up all the time. And that would help you find the worst places in town that would benefit the most from something like that. But you'd go right down, take everything out and put it, you know, they'd all have to come in and put it in there.
Dagan, one more, did you have something?
Oh, go ahead.
Dagan, one more thing, when they see the voucher, you're doing a flagging, training seminar, is that correct?
Yes, well, it happened today. So yeah, we, with the traffic being the way traffic is, at the post office and in other places, we did think it would be a good thing to send the guys in to get a certification for flagging. That way we know how to control traffic to the best of our abilities. We got to get some signs ordered and stuff like that, you know, as always. But it was a combined training today. It turned out pretty awesome. So we had to have a minimum of 6 people to get certified to get that company to come down from Grand Junction to teach the class. So originally we all signed up and that filled up the class and we could move on. But we had 8 or 9 people from Montezuma County join us today. They're in town hall. They came up and received the training and got certified. We fed them lunch, and it was just a good opportunity to mingle with other entities and meet new people and ideas. So yeah, it was a very positive thing, what Paul set up there. So
Gotta put that with your insurance renewal application, because that should help with your premiums. Anything that anybody does that gets a certification or does something can help.
Megan, can I ask you a question real quick? Did you get with
Yes.
Frank on the meters that Travis and Gary kind of talked about?
4 gas meters.
Yeah, the safety precautions.
The breathing devices when you go in the hole, I think is what.
Okay, so we haven't reached the goal of acquiring the gas monitors in the CLT, the chlorine monitors yet, but we are finalizing a SOP on the technique and rules to follow to change out these bottles. We have ordered the base masks, and them are just they're a full shield, so you'll have a full glass in front of you, but it's just a respirator. So we won't have to worry about keeping the SCBA certified and up to date. So everything's starting to take place. By the next bottle change, yeah, we will have all the correct PPE, and we'll probably have a policy in place with an SOP to follow. So it's been a crazy week, or that would have been wrapped up. But thank you, Sally.
Thank you.
Back to you, Lori.
I was gonna mention that the county donated their OWL camera to us also,
They're what?
their OWL camera. So it's a camera that's gonna rotate to whoever's speaking. So hopefully it'll pick up better than this microphone and that little
Indeed,
camera.
they actually turn, and you speak and it'll aim at you, the camera, when Lorraine speaks, it'll go.
Well, thank you, Commissioner.
They're fun.
We're in the process of setting it up. It's a little bit more intense than what we have going here. So hopefully by next meeting, we'll have that rocking and rolling.
Need help, let me know.
Thank you. Probably we might. And then I updated the mayor. But we have found a way how we work through the overtime where we don't have to pay overtime. So
You remember that conversation? Okay.
yeah, so we're going back to salary and no overtime, which is great. We're all a lot happier. And then the handbook should be done by the May 18th meeting also to present.
When are you gonna get that?
Probably after Thursday. No, before that. And then Dagan's got his hand up.
Dagan?
Sorry, yeah, my hand's up again. I would just, is Garter still in the audience?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
I would just like to thank him for involving us earlier this week, Brett. There's some pretty serious situations. Well, you know, when we're talking about national monuments and trying to push that NCA that they've worked so hard on through, it was good to be involved in that. I just wanted to thank him for keeping us in mind and reminding us the importance of certain times of showing up and support. And I encourage everybody to take a look at what they've done with that NCA and do our part in pushing it. So thank you, Steve.
You bet.
Absolutely.
We did talk today about putting on a public outreach, doing something in a night, an evening meeting of the PSC to explain it even further to the general public.
And I think that would be so good because I've heard so many different, I mean, I don't even know what's true anymore because there's just so many stories floating and everybody's confused about it.
Maybe have Al be one of your speakers.
What?
Well, maybe have Al be one of your speakers. Al
Good,
Heaton,
yes.
because he's
Very instrumental.
He's very instrumental with that, and that, part of that disruption that is in that, I think, was the manner in which they approached everybody, and I think there's a lot of feelings hurt. But, it'd be good if Al was a part of that. That would
You
be-
mean
that
the
would be good.
people that's for her feelings or?
No, the
That
way they
it's a
went
meeting
through
down
public
Lewis?
offers instead of going back to the people that were behind the
Oh.
NCA. And man, they've got 15, 20 years in developing that thing.
Yeah.
And for other people to step in there and short circuit this thing.
Yeah.
And Al was instrumental, so I think he would be very, very good speaker as far as what are the facts and.
And
what
see,
is-
that's one of the most common misconceptions that we didn't even think about. They get too much time, but the NCA, National Conservation Area, Dolores, Montezuma, and San Diego County, we're good. We're good. This is the program we've been working on. We reached out to Montrose County to include them in the process. They said no. And we warned them about it whenever they said that. You're jeopardizing your future. And they said, nope, our water attorney does not agree with you. And at the time, there was a different commission and control in Montezuma County that was jeopardizing that part also. So that's the first misconception, because people are blending the two together. No, we're protected as long as Representative Bolder will do her job. We're moving forward.
Now is Montezuma with the NCA too?
Yep.
They are, okay.
The important thing about the NCA, and this has been what's coming a long way, is to the best of my knowledge, you're the only government with adjudicated water rights below the dam. And if you have something other than the NCA, you could have those water rights impacted by either, I don't know that you would lose them, but they would become junior. And so you might lose their effectiveness. You might also lose access to them because it's not just the river, there's ground on either side of the river gets designated. And suddenly, if we thought the permit process for the pipeline was a pain in the neck the last time, it could get even worse. So the best interests of the town are for the NCA just so we can guarantee our water. It's not at risk anymore. And it took us, Al took him and whoever was helping him 20 years almost to get it. So we can sleep at night knowing that we can work through our problems. Because I would hate to see something change and then everything we've been working on to get the water line, to get the reservoir suddenly becomes even more complicated.
It was Al and Commissioner Copenhagen, and we're really close, Mike, we're really close. We're not quite
there yet.
If somebody's, if somebody screws this up, they should be on. I'm sorry, because it's the best solution for the town. And it's in some ways the only solution, because if you don't have protections, then if you remember the fire that was in the glade, it didn't do a lot of damage, but it did silt up the river. You get your water out of the river, you have a gallery. And so you silt up your gallery, you gotta get out and shovel it out, you gotta do things to keep your water pure. So there's all sorts of reasons to have some protections, but not to the level of monument or wildland scenic. And so the conservation thing does that better than anything else. So that's it in a nutshell, but that's what, I spent some time learning about it, and the mayor and I were talking as well, so that appears to be your best choice right now. It gives you protection, but it also gives you access without a lot of hassle.
Anything else, Lori?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it over to you again on the next report.
Okay, Muni Court's working well. We're collecting the tickets, as I keep saying, the phone calls are fun. Some doctor, I thought she'd be more educated when we were problem. She's like, what, 4 phone calls? And Lorraine and I had to start telling each other what we each said, because she was actually, I think, was trying to play us off on each other for a deal for an $83 ticket.
0 points.
0 points. So we were, what's the problem, lady? Ricky Cash physically had deteriorated to a point where a while ago the county went and moved him down to Cortez to assisted living. The house was just terrible. It was subhuman living conditions. And it was a good thing. What happened out of that at the same time was we wrote tickets, the sheriff's office wrote tickets for the town about the property condition inside, outside. And we cited the church and the church's clergy and Mr. Cash. We talked with the sheriff, and they'll all be appearing in court next month. We've continued it because some curves came up. The first curve was I don't know what his role in the church is. He's sort of like the hierarchy, the head guy, Gibbs. Mr. Gibbs filed a piece of paper in Muni Court that was quite baffling. What he had found, or somebody had found, was a form which was to appeal a state agency decision. And
Is this something that we need to speak?
yeah, it's in open court.
Oh, okay.
Ain't no secrets.
I just,
No.
okay.
And what was confusing about it was there was no agency decision to review. The statute didn't apply to towns. And at the end, he asked for, I forget, $60,000 and some other stuff. And so we got hold of the insurance company and said, hey, we might have a claim here. So once we figured out who to talk to at the insurance company, a lawyer called me back, and we spent some time on the phone trying to figure out what to do, because this was not a normal thing for a town to get, especially a judge in municipal court. He's very limited what he can do. So the insurance company was and is monitoring state court filings to see if anything gets filed, because we kind of educated Mr. Gibbs when we got it dismissed in Muni Court by telling him it wasn't supposed to be there. And so if you see a check to an insurance carrier in here, that's what that is for, that attorney's time, instead of a full deductible.
Wasn't much, wasn't it? What,
278.
$275?
And he and I both came to the same conclusion. We don't know what this is, but it doesn't belong in municipal court, so let's get rid of it and see what he does later. They're gonna be on top of it. We know who to call now. We've got contact people. I was a little unhappy with the insurance company because it took about 3 days to get to talk to somebody. And the other company I'm used to working with, which is a government insurance company, I had an answer in 15 minutes. And so this was a little frustrating for me. The other part about the Cash House is we're gonna move forward with trying to do something with it. And this was actually kind of fun for Cory. I paid for, got a title insurance commitment because I thought we would be filing perhaps a nuisance action where the town would be saying, this property's a nuisance, we need to do something with it, clean it up, tear it down, whatever. And then it would get billed back against the real estate for taxes, just like we talked about with the treasurer. But it takes some court orders from a district court judge to be able to go into people's property and do these things. When I got the title insurance commitment back, I learned they only own half the property. The dead guy owns the other half. What had happened was there was a couple, and I don't know how it came out or where it was before, I can't remember. But when they deeded it out to the couple, instead of being what you all might be familiar with, joint tenants, one of you dies, the other one gets it without doing an estate. This was tenants in common, meaning that when the husband died, the wife didn't get his share, and they didn't do an estate. And so how did this go? When Mr. Cash and his wife got it, they only got half. So when they gave it to the church only got half. Mr. Gibbs was a little surprised when he was standing in his jail orange, and we explained to the judge, we're not really ready to go here because I got a dead guy in the state I gotta find who's also responsible for the condition of the property. So that's something you might be hearing, because it was for the treasurer, they had been selling the taxes, only listing one of the owners. They didn't know about the other owner. So there's some complications. You may hear things on the street, but that was kind of interesting. The emergency stuff, all the counties appear to have about 400-page documents on the emergency process, like we were talking about trying to develop at the last meeting. So we'll get the one from Dolores County. And I think as a start, Dagan's gonna get his standard operating procedures together for what the town needs to do as far as the employees when something happens. Masks, clothing, whatever. What we started talking about, Dagan and I and Lorraine, and looking at was, we don't wanna get really specific. So if, for example, like over at Elmer's Corner in Durango, they had a tractor dump over there. It tipped upside down on the highway. We would want something, it sounds like, that says, hey, you isolate the spill, you block off the traffic, you reroute it by whatever is the most feasible way. That's almost all you gotta say. And then the standard operating procedures that he just learned about flagging would come into play. They would flag things the way it was until the highway people got here, CDOT or the state patrol. If it happened on a town street, we could move that way. So what we've been talking about is I'll get a copy of Dolores County's and see if there are certain sections we can adopt as our own. And I think we signed off on that plan anyway, was my memory, as it was for the town and the county, because then we didn't have to do one, is my memory. And so that's what I'd like to start to try and do. The other part of all this that you came up with is land use, storing hazardous materials in different places. I'm going to tomorrow order an international fire code book. It's like the books we have already that we adopted, the building codes, the property maintenance codes, and whatever. And make sure it has what we need in there for the storage of hazardous materials. And I found a couple towns that have done this. I did it in Cortez, but it's an older version. And so Durango has one. It's 2019, 2020, I forget. And I'm thinking that my recommendation would be we adopt that one because they've already taken out the stuff that we don't need, like residential houses have to be sprinkled, non-commercial property like that. And it's been worked with, so it's not a new code that everybody's trying to figure out how to apply. The fire code would then give us a tool to go to people and say, hey, storing chemicals, fuel on pallets in the open might not be good. We've got to get a handle on some of the stuff around. I don't know why I noticed that the batteries at Napa on the sidewalk. Things like that are somewhat of a danger. That acid runs off into the street or whatever. We need to start looking at some of those safety concerns. And I don't think there's a lot of them. But Dagan and somebody else was talking, you know, and you have that, how many gallons are they? 250, 150 up on the platforms. If you look, a lot of places, they're in a kiddie pool. That's what it looks like. A big plastic pool underneath, so if there's a leak or something happens, it's all contained. It doesn't go into the ground. So we're gonna start looking at those things, but I think the fire code is the first step, and I'm gonna get a copy of the ordinance and things to Grant so he can look at it. But it's the one he's familiar with and using, which is the other reason I picked it. So it shouldn't be problematic. I'm hoping to get that to you. The May meeting would be the 2nd.
Isn't NASMAT supposed to come to a meeting too?
They did.
They did, oh, they did show?
Yeah, nice.
And they had some comments about the county plan that were positive. They said the maps might need to be improved because of some illegibility, so we'll look at things like that. But this is gonna be a multifaceted thing because of the different ways you have to approach it: land use, emergency, standard operating procedure for employees. That's probably the most important part, and where a lot of controls will come.
Did you find out anything more about the environmental impact? Because they were talking about the drainage ditch over here and fluids getting in it. And
I got yelled at for trespassing over there this evening.
Down here?
I was joking, Mike.
Well, when I come to town, people talk to me about things like I live here. And twice a year I take a ride around town just so I can figure things out. So I went over and looked at that. And there's chemicals or materials, oils or whatever, stored on pallets in caged plastic cases. The ditch, and this would be land use, would be more of the thing, okay? And what I'm seeing, which is funny, and it looks like it runs downhill from the highway and then under the street and goes uphill the other way. So I'm not sure.
It's actually a natural waterway.
Yeah, and so
But it
I
is.
think it goes away from the highway, but I'm not sure where it goes to ultimately. But I think
That's great.
the other thing that's gonna come, which this may affect, and maybe that gets filled in, I don't know, culverted or something, is these trucks out here are on your property. These tractor trailers about halfway on. If you go out and stand, I just got the survey to do the ordinance to vacate the street and keep the turnoff from the highway. If we keep it as a street, they can't take it away from us. If we have to permit it, they can. So what I was noticing, if you go out, you stand on the upside corner of the building and you sight down the wall, that's the property line between the town and.
We went out and did that, didn't we?
And you will see that those trucks, the trailers, are pretty much from the, whatever you call them, the skids or whatever, forward on town property. This lowway over here is on town property. So there's gonna be some interesting conundrums, and that's how it's deeded. So we're not taking anything from anybody, that's the way it's deeded. We're just doing the ordinance because the surveyor told us the previous ordinance wasn't valid. And so that's what I'm trying to fix. And Midnight Trucking agrees that we should come back 15 or 20 feet from the edge of the highway, the full 60 feet. Then we both, and keep it a street, and then we both have access off the highway that's hard to take away. If we just shut that down, we're not gonna, it's not gonna work as well. Even if you block that off out front, we still need that coming off the highway. So we don't wanna give it
As
up.
hard as it is to get access off of this highway, I'm changing my thought process on vacating street. And it's hard to get access on this highway.
Well, the street has technically been vacated and deeded, so all I'm really, with their permission, is taken back about 15 by 60 feet. So that we will keep that access. He's gonna need it to get in and out of his
Oh,
property.
yeah.
Cause he can't, there's almost no way for them to come off of Fourth Street. I suppose they could go over on the far side of the building, I don't know what that is over there. But Midnight's gonna have to do some major restructuring of their traffic patterns in and out of that place. And Dagan and I've been talking about how to block things off, a fence, steel posts, hand grenades, landmines.
Is he really hurting anything though? I mean, is he hurting anything?
If someone gets hurt on our property, because their trucks are parked on it, how does that affect
And
things?
if there's stuff drips out,
Yeah, but
environmental, yeah, you're
I mean, like a
responsible.
semi pull out to the restaurant out at the dinner bell. I mean, somebody's pulling there and parking, eating dinner and,
Well,
you
but
know,
right,
hazard, you know.
but
where-
right now you lost the flagpole to the semi.
I agree. I mean, that was, yeah,
And
terrible,
so we
but
need to get this fixed, and you need to assert your property rights over what's your property.
we don't wanna
And,
make our friends and neighbors mad either.
some days it's my job.
I think we've already done that.
I made our friends and neighbors mad.
Well, when we bought the
We
building,
bought the building.
Oh, yeah, we did.
even though it was.
One job description I had about village leaders was to sow hate and discontent amongst the civilian population, so. I mean, I'm sorry, but we need to make sure that we own, what we own is ours, and we assert our property rights over it.
But please don't get mad at me, but we don't own anything.
No,
town-
the
The people.
the
own
That's
it.
people
what I'm
have definitely
talking
owned.
about is the town, the
Yeah.
town, I'm not talking about the board owning it, but I mean, when I say we, I'm talking about the town as a whole. The town owns this, and so the town needs to assert its rights. And I don't know for how long this has been going on over there, but it needs to stop just for property rights. So I'm not trying to be mean, I mean, if we wanna cut a deal with them to use that down there somehow, but it doesn't necessarily fit with the vision that I see coming for what things should look like as far as improvements. If people are angry that you even bought this, they're gonna be even angrier that you lost some of it to somebody else and you're not getting all of it. I mean, there's a lot of politics, I suppose, around.
I
town.
never have understood anybody getting about this. I just don't.
This is the best thing you've done.
Oh, it's beautiful.
There's no mold.
I wanted to say too, before we're about to end, to Christie, I didn't include her with all the work since I've been here on the park. Our grass and our baseball field and our fence. You hear me, Christie?
I hear you, fellas.
Yeah, I can include too, but just in the time, previous years, there was no improvement in Canada. So nothing, Christie, kudos to her.
Thank you.
And we need, if you want to use this, for example, for a really neat farmer's market, that stuff parked on your property doesn't really.
Yeah, I agree there.
There's some issues about having it out there liability wise, insurance wise, that we need to take care of. And maybe we work something out, I don't know, but, won't worry about the setbacks on the building. It's almost, if it isn't on the property line, we'll go from there.
So you guys weren't ever thinking about cutting that access from the highway, are you?
No.
Okay.
We actually came up with the idea of 15 or 20 feet in
Yeah.
from the highway so that we had it. He'll have a 30-foot access. We'll have 30 feet, but it'll be called whatever street that is. And there'll be a sign and he can go right, and we can go left. And he'll have access off 4th Street on the other side of the building.
Dagan.
So, yeah, can I chime in? So with that access, that to me, I think we was generous to give them some extra footage on keeping that access, because Mike did have a good point. We have a stronger hold on that access staying open just because it was our street. But if you look at that real close, you have that access Mike's talking about, which will be 60 feet. And then you have like a 3-foot curb, and then there's another access, and then there's another one. So I think as we develop the parking lot in the outside of the town hall, I could see us wanting to close one or two of those, and that would help alleviate, because Tim's not necessarily the biggest truck problem we have. They come in, they're overweight, they run over the curbs, they break them, the pavement gives it up. And to me, I think that's kind of what we were wanting to stop outside of Tim. Tim will have his own access. I think he'll be fine. But I would recommend maybe looking at one of those spans, because that's a big span for people to pull in.
And there seems to be other curb cuts out there that I have no idea. I'm guessing they were for the convenience store. I don't remember them being transferred to us when we bought the property. I'm assuming they run with the land, but that's something stupid to do when you're dealing with CDOT.
Any other questions for the attorney?
Thank you both.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I don't know of any issues that's been brought to my attention. We need to enter into executive session. So at this point, I thank you for your time this evening, and I'll go ahead and entertain a motion for adjournment.
And I'll second that motion.
Oh, look. You want to make it?
I make the motion.
Thank
We
you.
adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Yes, my last one ever. Well, maybe not ever.
Quit it.
Maybe not ever.
Oh, yeah, if you sign up again and you get appointed and you leave again in 2 years, you get a